Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white and weighing in at 8 stone, 13½ pounds, or 125½ pounds. His professional record, an outstanding one, stands at 37 victories, including 19 by knockout, with only 2 losses, and in world title bouts, he is undefeated with 14 victories. From East London, South Africa, ladies and gentlemen, here is the challenger, the former undefeated super bantamweight champion of the world, Vuyani the Beast Bungu. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, fighting out of the opposite corner, the blue corner, who at this time would like to say something in the microphone.
Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Ashhadu anna la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Introducing, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing leopard with Adidas trim, weighing 9 stone or 126 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one, consisting of 33 bouts, 33 victories, including 29 by knockout, and he is considered by many among the best pound for pound in the world today. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sheffield, England, presenting member of the British Empire, the reigning and defending, undefeated WBO featherweight champion of the world, Prince Naseem Hamed.
All right, Naseem Bungu, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I expect a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all time. Naseem, these trunks are a little high. Yours are a little high also. Give me a good, clean fight. Protect yourselves at all time. And remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Understand? Touch them up.
Since we neglected to bring our Arab interpreter, I'll tell you what he said, Jim. I'm faster, I'm quicker, he doesn't have a chance. Bungu has heard that song before.
Incidentally, have you ever seen a fighter be given the opportunity to speak during pre-fight introductions by the ring announcer before?
Roy Jones may have done something like that, I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's a first.
Now, if you travel around a lot, you'll hear boxers talk before the fight, even give speeches. It's almost typical.
Really?
Away from television.
Away from television. Well, Vuyani Bungu, coming off the longest layoff of his career, 13 months out of the ring. He gave up his 122-pound world championship and moved up in weight specifically for the opportunity of taking this fight. And, of course, he makes the biggest purse of his career tonight because of the opposition, Prince Naseem Hamed.
About $350,000.
A pittance compared to what Hamed collects, but nevertheless highly significant if you come from the kind of poverty that afflicted Bungu's early life in South Africa. As fighting out of his southpaw stance and trying to land big shots from odd angles, as is his stock in trade. Bungu is also a fighter who fights at odd angles and often in machine gun bursts. Likes to get inside, pepper his opponent, and then move back away into a cocoon. Hard shot by Naseem as Bungu came in.
Bungu is one of those boxers that you really just got to get a knockout by coincidence. He's solid, keeps his feet spread, so he's never off balance.
But as his shots are hurting him here in the first round.
Naz has just got to be himself, get an occasional shot, turns and face to the side with a straight right hand.
When first we saw Prince Naseem, George, you pointed out how his extraordinary power comes from his legs.
He's got powerful legs. You look down, you don't see much on top. If you focus down below, he's strong calves and ankles.
Strong legs also give Hamed a chance to widen out and throw shots from unusual angles. They always say the punches that hurt you most are the ones you don't see coming. It's harder to see Naz's shots coming than is the case with a lot of other fighters.
Bungu being a solid boxer, likes to keep a guy knowing where he's going to be when he's jabbing, knowing where the right hand is going to land. He doesn't like reaching out into new territory.
Hard right hand by Bungu. Snap Naz's head back, and then there's another right across the Naseem jaw. And already we learned that there are significant numbers in the crowd who root against Hamed rather than for him here.
The Prince is a boxer that fights with his eyes. A lot of fighters go by rhythm, but he's looking at what he's doing.
Round one largely dominated by Prince Naseem's big shots. Bungu getting in the two right hands toward the end. In Naseem's corner tonight, some unusual activity.
Now, you remember
Oscar Suarez, the man with that red and white cap on his head, is going to get in to talk to Naz after the first, third, fifth, seventh, ninth, and 11th rounds. Emmanuel Stewart will come in to talk to Naseem after the second, fourth, sixth, eighth, 10th, and 12th rounds, unless we are told Hamed gets in trouble, in which case Stewart is going to take over.
Okay, it's forgetting about the power now. If he's there, he's going to come, okay? So pick up.
You see what Bungu is doing already, crouching, moving, making himself a difficult target, and looking to land a counter as Hamed throws one of his big uppercuts.
CompuBox numbers in round one. Hamed landing 23 out of 71, 32%. Bungu, 14 out of only 48 punches thrown, well below his average. This is an 80-punch per round guy who came out and threw 48 in the first round against the Prince. That's what Naseem's power and unorthodoxy can do to opponents.
Main thing, Bungu has got to stay focused on being solid. Don't reach out beyond his defense.
Emmanuel Stewart trying to get Prince Naseem Hamed to throw shorter shots and to focus more often on the body. And already here tonight, he's thrown more body punches than we sometimes see from the Prince.
Sometimes that's a difficult task when you see a boxer fights with his eyes. He needs to be out there away so he can look at what he's doing. You put him close, he loses his confidence. That's why there's going to be a difficult in making him move into short shots. He likes room out there.
And you got to get close to throw to the body. As with a big shot upstairs, Bungu crouching, working inside, lands that right hand counter. Kind of gets a little smile out of Naseem. Bungu's determination can be a big factor in his fights. On the undercard of Hamed McCullough in Atlantic City, Bungu seemed to trail in the early rounds against the more orthodox Danny Romero. But in the late rounds, Romero receded and Bungu came on. His activity level went up. He won the late rounds and won a close fight.
Bungu keeps his hands up, throws them out, bring them right back to his chin. Understands there's power that he's up against. You don't want a guy like a Prince focusing on pot shot. You got to keep active, hit him every now and then, throw something.
Power shots for Naz, hurting Bungu more than he's been hurt in his previous fights at 122 pounds.
He's allowing the Naz to just stand back and look. You want to get close to him, make him back up and think about what he's doing.
He's got to find a way to get inside without having to be pot-shotted by Naseem Hamed as he does so.
You want to throw shots because if you just follow a punch around, you're going to get it.
constant George Foreman aphorism, don't follow a puncher around the ring. Bungu has done it for 2 rounds and survived, but he's taken some tattooing for his trouble. And now Emmanuel Stewart comes into the ring for his first crack at talking to the Prince.
You got this guy's fighting you real tight. You see how he's fighting you. He's gagging you like a crab. He's not giving you any fucking room or nothing to punch at. He's fighting you real tight down here. Start backing him up. He got bad legs. In other words, start pushing him back and towing and banging. But the best shot,
You've got to make a double jab first, okay?
It's okay. Just a little. Stay still.
You've got to put him off balance first, all right? You are not putting him off balance. And I don't want you on the rope. What I need from you, Vito, you've got to make double jab, okay? Close the gap. We can only fight this minute.
We did not detect that cut during the round. It could be a bad one. On the left eye, blood already dripping near or perhaps even into that left eye on Bungu.
Emmanuel Stewart has told the Prince to back Bungu up, saying he doesn't have good legs.
But that is really not the Prince's style.
No, it's not in his nature. That's a hard thing to do, but it looks to me that he would like to give it a try.
The seriousness of the cut, evidenced by the fact that Umbi Munguni, Bungu's trainer, elected not to get into the ring in front of the fighter that time, but rather allowed the cut man, Paddy Byrne, to do so. Now Prince Naseem Hamed again backing Bungu up with big shots.
Bungu's just got to keep his head moved, keep his hands up, move in and jab the Prince in his chest. Stop aiming at his head.
Just to show how out of his own style Bungu has been forced here. This is a guy who averaged 84 punches a round as a 122-pound fighter. In the first 2 rounds here, he averaged 46 punches per round. It's hard to throw when you know that Naz is coming back with those big shots.
Now he's aiming his shots into Prince's chest. That'll help out a little bit. If you aim for the chest, you'll get the chin.
Fighting with great confidence, already seems to have come to the conclusion that Bungu can't hurt him with the right hand.
And he's doing like his corner told him. He's backing Bungu up. I'm surprised at that.
Normally, Naz backs up and allows the opponent to come to him.
Body shot. Wicked right to the body by the Prince. That hurt.
He is hurting Bungu both to the body and the head. Bungu looking wobblier than is usually the case, and throwing many fewer punches. Occasionally landing a clean right hand, but Hamed has been able to walk through them. Here's a left-hand shot landing for Bungu. And there's a hard left hand for the Prince, who turns around into a right-handed stance and fires a right cross. Now back to the southpaw stance.
The bad thing about that with the Prince, moving forward like that beyond his nature, if the fight goes beyond 6 or 7 rounds, he'll have to pay the cost for that.
And what will be the price, George?
Well, you're using muscles that you're not accustomed to, nor do you like to use. And you won't have those muscles to protect you.
No trouble from Bungu's cut left eye in that round. Only from Hamed's
There are 2 things.
fist.
Don't just stay in Bangkok unnecessary, okay? It's either we're close with him or we're out of him, okay? Vito, okay? When we go to him, we go to him and work under. Don't try and move back because he's catching us when we move back, okay? Rather stay outside, inside, or to move outside completely, okay?
in that jab, all right? Now, if you're going to pick punches, you're going to follow. Okay? Yep. It's not only one shot. We want 2 and 3 shots, okay? Now, remember, don't
touch him with the body shot.
Oh,
There
yeah.
you go.
Beautiful. You're working
The
excellent.
body shot and touch him with the right hand as soon as you bang him.
You're working excellent that body, okay? But remember, I want that jab more consistent, okay, Habu? Okay, we're gonna follow with that hook a little more, all right?
Round 4.
Advice from Bungu's corner, either get in his chest or try to stay outside of his range. Don't stand in the middle where you can be hit.
Harold Letterman, how do you have it scored so far?
Jim, 3-0. 30-27, Prince Naseem Hamed. You know, Jim, southpaws don't have great right hands generally. The Prince has got a vicious right hook, and he's been murdering Bungu with it, in addition to that great straight left hand. You can't take it away from the Prince. Really winning easily on good, clean punches.
Well, his style is so unusual. I mean, why call him a southpaw? He's really an ambidextrous puncher.
Very ambidextrous, Jim, a lot like Pernell Whitaker.
He tends to square his feet from time to time. He throws power shots equally well from either side. He's really neither fish nor fowl in terms of southpaw or conventional fighter.
One theory I've heard expressed about why he hasn't seriously hurt or stopped recent opponents, a theory I don't necessarily subscribe to, is that since his fight with Kevin Kelly when he was knocked down 3 times, he's unwilling to fully commit to those big punches anymore. Do you see any of that, George?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, this guy's, I've seen him dig into the body, and he's sticking his head right out there for another left hook.
I think a better explanation, if you want to be charitable to the Prince, I mean, if you're on the Prince's side, one explanation is that both McCullough and Soto want to survive. Down goes Bungu on a left-hand shot up the middle.
There goes that theory, which I didn't subscribe to, and certainly don't now.
And Vuyani Bungu is knocked out for the first time in his career. Certainly never in his career did he face the kind of firepower that he saw tonight.
As the Prince regained not just his magic carpet, but his magic, George.
This was a solid boxer. He knocked out. That you can't regain it any better than that. The guy is on top. If ever he was down, he's on top and a little bit more.
That was what he was looking for. That was a terrific, convincing performance against a solid professional fighter. That was a fight in which Hamed showed that he's making progress towards some of the things Stewart wants from him in terms of being a better fighter.
Now, if the critics continuously criticize him, it's because it's fashionable to criticize such a guy. This guy has the package.
Well, it may be fashionable, George, but I think the criticism is probably making him a better fighter.
Amen. I believe that too.
And I'll reemphasize my point. I think both Soto and McCullough fought to survive. Bungu didn't, and he got knocked out. Let's take another look, Larry.
Straight left hand threaded through Bungu's defense, a defense that helped him win 14 championship fights before this.
At 122 pounds rather than 126.
And the good thing about this, the Prince did it in his style. He wasn't going forward. He was boxing, picking him apart, and here we go. Boom.
That's the same straight left hand that finished the fight against Kevin Kelly December of '97 in New York. That's the punch that made Hamed a media star in the United States. There it is again.
The song is, I've got to be me. And if he's, as long as he himself, he'll get these knockouts all the time.
Well, if opponents come to fight.
Well,
if opponents come to survive, even the great punchers can't do that much about it.
I agree with you. Certainly, Soto was there to survive. McCullough's just got the hardest chin there is.
McCullough's got a rock-hard chin. McCullough went the distance against Eric Morales, too. Point made.
His corner was able to communicate with him to take it easy. Take your time. Keep the jab out there. He did it.
Well, it was an easy fight. And a relaxed Prince Naseem Hamed did what the crowd and the boxing public have been looking for. So now, that sets up some big-time possibilities, because we are still looking down the road toward possible fights with Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera, and Emmanuel Stewart says someday we're going to go up to 130 pounds and fight Floyd Mayweather Jr. What a battle that could be. Let's go up to Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, This contest comes to an end as referee Joe Cortez reaches the count of 10. The official time, 1 minute, 38 seconds of round number 4. The winner, and still the reigning, undefeated WBO Featherweight Champion of the World, the pride of Sheffield, England, Prince Naseem Hamed.
Final punch that numbers. The ultra unconventional Prince Naseem Hamed landing at a relatively low percentage. Bungu right there in range of where he normally lands, 28%, but throwing about half as many punches as he would normally have thrown in that tour of duty in the ring. And why was Bungu not throwing much? Because when you're facing the Prince's power, you don't like what's coming back when you put your arms out in front of you. And Naz settled this fight with his formidable power, particularly off the left side. Now let's go to Larry Merchant at ringside with the Prince.
Congratulations, Prince. An important victory for you, I know. But let's start from the beginning. What did you say before the fight started on the loudspeaker system, and why did you feel compelled to do that?
I'll tell you what I said. I said, Allahu Akbar. God is great. God is the biggest, because I'm a Muslim and I acknowledge there's one God. You know, there's one God and one God only. I'm a Muslim.
Why did you feel you have to say that tonight?
I just felt that that gives me awesome power through the whole of my bones. I'm talking about from my muscles. My heart gets twice as big. And I actually said too that, and there is one final messenger that he sent down, and that was Muhammad, peace be on him.
What was your advantage, did you feel, going into this fight against Bungu, who is such a respected opponent?
For me, I thought Bungu was such a great fight before the fight. He'd boxed everybody basically, and he'd done such a job on McKinney. Everybody knows him. He's so credible, and I thought, I want to prove myself against a great fighter. And basically, him winning a world title and having it 8 years, for me, that says it all. And I wanted to prove that there's nobody in the world that can dispose with such a man the way I did.
Let's take a look at the knockout, and you tell us what led up to it and what happened.
Well, you're looking here, I've got him on his blind side, and there's a straight left straight through. I mean, and that just took him completely out. This guy got stretched.
Some of your critics here in Britain were saying that since the Kevin Kelly fight, you were unwilling to fully commit to your knockout punches, which may have accounted for some of the decisions you've had. What is your response to that?
My response is, that is completely BS. I don't want to say the full word on HBO, because I love HBO. They pay my wages. But at the end of the day, I ain't lost no power whatsoever. I mean, being trained now by Oscar Suarez for 6-7 weeks. Also, Manny Stewart there in my corner. Manny Stewart being with us, with all the knowledge that he knows and the advice that he gave me. I mean, you've seen it in the ring. I worked to instructions, and I did what I had to do and took him out.
Can't we give just a little credit for restoring your magic to the magic carpet you came in on tonight?
Most definitely. I told all your guys that this final entrance is going to be one unbelievable entrance.
But why should you make this a final entrance? Why, if it worked so well?
Don't get me wrong, right? You see me so focused in there, ready to do business, in which I did. Took a world-class fighter out that had never been knocked out or stopped or put down, out in 4 rounds. Come on, baby, talk to me. Now, all I'm saying to you is this: entrances aren't going to stop. It's the fact that I'm going to tone them down a little bit. Tonight, I wanted something special for the English public. I'm in London, in the capital, and I always shine in London.
Toning
Larry.
it down, that's like...
I always shine in London,
That's
baby.
like Roy Rogers riding on a pony. Finally, Eric Morales is out there, Barrera is out there, Kevin Kelly, who you had a great fight with, is out there.
Kevin Kelly's washed up. I brung the girl out of him that night. He don't want to fight me again. He got beat by a bum. If Kevin Kelly's watching this fight, he knows I still got the respect for him. But the fact is,
you know that
he ain't
Kevin...
on my level. I will destroy that boy.
Well, then why won't you fight him? But beyond that, would you fight Morales or Barrera?
I'll tell you what, let's talk about a guy that's undefeated, a guy that in America is seen as one of the best, if not one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, Erik Morales.
Do you feel...
That's who I want.
Do you feel that a victory over Morales would win over completely all of your critics?
Come on, Larry. Talk to me. What do you think, baby? You know, once I knock Erik Morales out and beat him in style, they're gonna make me #1 pound-for-pound champion, best fighter in the world, and that's what I want. I'm looking now. I'm looking to shine, and I want the credit that I deserve. I've been world champion nearly about 5 years now. Come on, they've got to give it me now.
Thank you very much, Prince.
More than welcome.
Jim?
The scoring of the three judges through the first 3 rounds, identical to that of Harold Letterman, and probably pretty easy for all of you at home as well. Those rounds were one-sided, and Prince Naseem Hamed had won them all. Big crowd, star-studded. Puffy Combs, you saw, walking to ringside with Prince Naseem. The Rolling Stones were here. Jude Law, Kate Moss, a variety of others. All of them here to celebrate a victory by Prince Naseem Hamed, and the kind of victory, George, that he was looking for. In the last 2 fights against both Engel and Soto, you worried that with the new training situation, he was a little bit caught between styles. Still a problem?
I think that spending some time with the extra trainer away from Emmanuel Stewart may have helped him a lot more than you would imagine. Emmanuel Stewart, his expertise in the corner, helped tonight. But being out of training camp probably was the major plus for the Prince. He moved around, and he was foxy. He even blindsided his opponent. These are things that I hadn't seen in years with the Prince.
So maybe a situation that looks awkward with 2 trainers competing for space and credit is actually good for Naz.
Well, it's good if they cooperate and do what he asked them to do.
All right, well, we'll see if they can continue to do that over a period of time. Meanwhile, rejoined now by Larry Merchant, and I'll put to you the same question that Naz did. Suppose he takes on Erik Morales and beats him. Will that settle the criticism once and for all?
I think if he beats Morales, especially if he beats him in a decisive fashion as he did tonight, that yes, that would mark him as really the best of his time and perhaps one of the more exciting fighters of his time.
Just spit it right in there. Don't worry about it. Up your hands. Be sharp. Change your angle. Give him that, hey, come on. And snap your punch.
So you saw the